Welcome to the Camnet Breakfast. We are glad that you could find time to be with us. I'm not alone in the studios. I'm with Miriam Kaimba and I'm Patrick Soko.
Patrick, good morning. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. How are you feeling today?
Oh, tired, if you ask me.
I can imagine, because I know you were very busy with the by-election in KABWATA constituency, where you were giving us an update this morning, so I can just imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that will replace your partner, Prudence.
Imagine.
Interesting.
Imagine. But though, today, unfortunately, we are not in the studio with Prudence Chota. She's unwell. She'll be able to join us next week. But I'm with Patrick Soko, where we're just going to be updating you on what transpired this morning in the KABWATA by-election. And our topic of discussion this morning is your views on the outcome of the KABWATA constituency by-election. But before we go into much details, Soko, you know, it's always important that we keep fit.
Exactly.
You know, we boost our system. Yeah. I don't know if you do exercise, though.
That's a question no more. Oh, you're asking me. Well, I think the viewers are aware that I do exercise, because I've been responding to that question from Sharon.
Really?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. So right about now, we'll go just direct into the morning boost, and then join us on the other side, where we'll give you the rest of the programs.
A very good morning to you and welcome to Morning Boost. This is Isaac Macha, always here in the morning to make sure that you have a great day. Therefore, today we're going to do some simple workouts, different kinds of workouts in 5 minutes. As usual, it's going to be a warm-up. Let's go. Start with a warm-up. Good morning. Let me know where you're watching us from. Let's go. Very easy. Okay, I'm gonna change very soon. Here's the next one. Thank you. Trotting, trotting, trotting. Do this anywhere. You can do this in your kitchen, from your living room, outside, car park, anywhere. Okay, here we go now. So the first workout we're going to do, we'll do some mountain climbers. Okay, let's go. We'll do both for the beginners and for those already in the workouts system. Go down, see my body. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Make sure that you're pushing in your knee in. 10. So I'm going to do 40 mountain climbers. 20 will be basic. The next 20 will be a little bit advanced. Last 10. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You should be feeling your hands by now. 8, if you're doing it correctly. Okay, so that was 20. You can take a 15-second break, sip some water. Let's do the last 20 of mountain climbers now. Yes, she just sipped some water. Don't mind, the person behind the camera. Let's go now. 20 of them. Okay, 10 in breaks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 more to go. Okay, let's go. Last 10. I'm sure my 15-second break is up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Here's your active break. That was 10. Try this. Leave a comment. Let's see how you're doing. Let's match. 2 steps each. 2. 2. 2 steps. I'm going to add the grapevine now. 2 each. Grapevine. Try this, daddy. 2 each. Stay at it. I'm gonna change soon. Let's match. Keep matching. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's run now. See? You just need a little space for you to do your running. Almost done, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I always feel good every time you join me. So make sure to do this every day and you're gonna be fit. Don't miss another session next week. This is Isaac Matsa and I'm signing out with a punch on your face. 1, 2.
There you have it, our morning boost, a daily update activities that sport exercise that we always get from Mr. Isaac Machisa. You know, it's very important that you always exercise in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, it is indeed. You have to make sure that you are physically fit to stay away from non-communicable diseases.
Yeah.
And talking about that, it is no wonder we've also introduced a Camnet health on this breakfast where we continue to discuss various issues pertaining to health. And just now that segment will be coming after we go into our next segment, which is a Camnet sports update, and we just get to understand what is trending in the AFCON. And now
I understand that it was a sad day for Cameroon yesterday.
Yeah, so we look at those games, Miriam, that we have played, because Senegal are through to the final. This is after they managed to beat Burkina Faso. And we saw Egypt yesterday beating the host, Cameroon, on penalty shootout. And they missed 3 penalties.
Wow.
And that cost them a lot. And it was a sad day for the fans, because now they won't be able to watch their team in the final. So Cameroon will be playing against Burkina Faso tomorrow in the 3rd and 4th playout. So then Egypt will be playing up against Senegal. And this is an interesting encounter, if you ask me, Miriam, because we have 2 top strikers in Africa who happen to be Sadio Mane of the Senegalese national team. Then we also have Saraf of the Egyptian national team. And these 2 players are playing at the same club, which is Liverpool. And they've been competing for goals.
Yeah, I can imagine. Trust me, I can imagine.
It's a unique scenario, if you ask me. And these 2 players have been top-notch in terms of scoring in as far as the Liverpool is concerned. And they have been doing a very good job at club level. And they have also managed to inspire their teams to progress to the final, because they have played a major role in terms of making sure that they are at these stages of the tournament. We'll be winding down the tournament this week, and it has been a mammoth experience, because a number of disappointments, a number of improvements from other teams that have also been at the AFCON.
But you know what, I really look forward to the time that I'll see our own national team, you know, qualifying to this AFCON Cup once more. You know, it's been a while.
Exactly.
We haven't seen that.
For now, yes, we haven't been doing very fine.
We haven't been doing very fine in our sport in terms of football. So we hope that with this new season we'll be able to see more, you know, update, highlights, and more improvement from our team, our national team. Yeah, we hope to see the best, and we always we wish them the best, in short.
Yeah, exactly. So right now we're going to go into another segment, which we call the Camnet money market, so that we get to understand how the kwacha is performing against the other major foreign currencies. Well, according to what we have, the kwacha was buying at 24 kwacha 66 ngwe and selling at 25 kwacha 14 ngwe against the British pound. And against the US dollar, the kwacha was trading at 18 kwacha 14 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha 15 ngwe. Against the euro, the kwacha was buying at 18 kwacha 89 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 26 ngwe. Against the South African rand, the kwacha is buying at 1 kwacha 19 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 21 ngwe. That's the money market there. So you can be able to make your decision as you want to change your money, or if you want to buy something in dollars or in kwacha, you'll be able to understand how our currency is performing. So you can catch this segment on the Camnet Breakfast every day to get abreast regarding the performance of our local currency. Just now we're going to take a short break. We'll be back shortly with Camnet Health.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
And bananas. Work and wait, and this what you've been praying for.
From 31st January to 6 February 2022, Zambia's spiritual atmosphere will take a paradigm shift. The Bible says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord."
Zambia, a nation under God conference
will be starting at 20:45 hours
to 22:30 hours.
Live on Camnet TV channel 274 on DSTV, GoTV channel 98 and Topstar channel 106.
Speakers will be
Bishop Stanley Simnyola, Grace Ministries.
Dr. Nervous Mumba, Victory Ministries.
Apostle Michael Mutemwa from South Africa.
Bishop Nelly Chikwanda, New Life Christian Center.
Apostle Rick Kamwanga, Risen Life Church International.
Bishop Joy Makando, Bread of Life.
Bishop Alex Mwami of Holy Ghost Firehouse from South Africa. And your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua.
Camnet Television.
Not just another channel.
Welcome back. You are watching the Camnet Breakfast Friday edition, business for breakfast. But we had to make some alterations because it is we had an election in KABWATA, which was so vital that we had to accommodate various issues pertaining to that
election. So, exactly. I'm sure people were expecting, you know, as we always say, Fridays we always talk about business on this show. Yeah, but due to the by-election that we had, you know, a lot of people wanted to know what exactly was happening. This is something, so we had to make some few changes. But though we'll still, you know, next week do make sure that we have we continue with our segment of updating people on current business sectors that we have in our country and what is happening in the business sector in short.
Yeah, interesting. And right now we are going to another interesting segment we call Camnet Health, where the Zambia Medical Women Association continues to help us understand various issues pertaining to health. And in the studios we have Dr. Cheswa Valika, who is going to help us discuss COVID and mental health. Doctor, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And over to you.
All right. Good morning, viewers. The past few days we had various doctors come on board, and we had a discussion on the myths and misconceptions. We spoke about the golden rules of preventing COVID, and we also discussed how to take care of a patient at home. So today we're going to tackle mental health, because we know that COVID-19 does not just affect the physical, it also affects the mental health. Being a disease that makes one have to isolate themselves, sometimes people feel stigmatized. It's a disease that can bring about loneliness, because sometimes you have to spend so much time on your own. But also because it's a disease that has killed loved ones and people that we know, it's also a disease that brings in so much fear, so much that even for people who have just tested positive, they will be overcome with so much fear that that can actually affect them. So what are some of the signs and symptoms of mental illness that one should be worried about? One of them is depression. Sometimes people feel so depressed. They feel so depressed that so many things can go wrong. They just, nothing good, they have no positive thoughts at all, and they will just sit and be so depressed, and that can also prolong the period of them recovering. We know that some can be anxious. You know, they're just worried about what will happen next. Even when they've tested positive and they have no symptoms at all, they're almost waiting to feel that headache, feel that fever, and that can all really make somebody fail to concentrate on, you know, other aspects of life. Some people will even fail to sleep. We know that sleep is very important for the recovery process. So because people are failing to sleep, they wake up feeling tired, and that adds on to the illness so much that it's not just the COVID that makes them sick, but they wake up feeling so tired, so weak, and that will add on to the illness itself. Others will then have a loss of appetite. They don't want to eat. And we know that food is very, very important. Okay? So because they are not eating, that may add on to the weakness and make the illness even seem more serious than it is. Other people will just, because of all this anxiety and depression, they won't be able to remember even basic things that they should. They will forget a lot of things that they should have done, or the call that they should have made, and all this. So for us who are around such a person, how can we prevent this mental illness from getting severe? So what we need to do is to create a positive environment for the patient. First and foremost, everybody should know that feeling anxious, feeling depressed is normal. It is okay to feel that way because, you know, we are human beings. But this should not continue to an extent that it affects us negatively. So we must find new ways to distract ourselves. Keep yourself busy so that you take yourself away from these negative thoughts and you begin to think more positively, because the more positive you think, the better for you and for your body. Find new ways to connect with other people. And here we are lucky, most of us have phones, so you can send messages and let these messages be positive messages. Don't send a message to a patient, oh, we've lost a loved one. Have you heard of this death? Have you heard of the numbers, you know, of people who are now ill? Let's send positive messages that will bring a smile to the patient's face, and even we ourselves. Let's look out for positive messages that will make us happy and look out for, you know, the good in ourselves. The other thing also is that, especially for us women, we always concentrate on taking care of other people, even when we are sick. So when you have COVID, it's time to also focus on yourself. Take care of yourself. You know, prepare meals, prepare a meal for yourself as well, not just thinking of other people. So focus on yourself as well. It is very important to exercise. Most of us would be, if you're positive and you're being treated at home, you'll be confined in a room. And even in that room, you can do some exercise. But once in a while, go outside, especially early in the morning when you know you will not have contact with the other members of the family. Take a walk outside. You know, wear that mask, take a walk outside, exercise. If you can do it, exercise in your room as well, because that is also very important for your mind, but also for that chest, because as you breathe in and breathe out, that also helps speed up the recovery. Most important, rest. Take time to rest. You know, and even when you give people days off when they are COVID positive, some of them get so busy. And you know, for COVID-19, the body heals itself. So you have to give yourself time to rest, because that rest is important, not just for the physical, but also for the mental health. Take time to lie down. Take time to just relax. Don't be 24/7 on that computer or on that phone. So it's important to take care of yourself that way. And for us to know that even in our healthcare facilities, we do have services for counselors, so that should your loved one, you know, have, you feel they are too depressed, they are too anxious, it's important for us to seek these services, because they are available. Trained counselors are there to come and, you know, just talk to the patients and find out how severe their illness is and what interventions need to be made. The other point I want to mention is also the importance of taking care of our caregivers. Most of the times you will have somebody either by the bedside, or if it's in the home, somebody who's taking care of our patients. It's also important for the caregivers to take care of themselves. Sometimes they are overworked. They need to take a break. They are taking care of a person who has an illness that they're afraid to get. So that can also bring about a lot of fear, a lot of depression, loss of appetite, and all those that we talked about that a patient may have. So even the caregiver must take care of themselves. As they prevent themselves from getting the illness, they must also take care of their mental health, so that at the end of the day, we do not have two patients. So COVID is a viral disease. It can affect the body, but it can also affect the mind. But let us create a positive environment, because when the body is, when you're happy and you have good thoughts, it makes it easier for the body to fight that disease, so that you get better quicker, and we'll be able to fight COVID much better. So with this, take care of yourself, prevent yourself from getting COVID, and please create a positive environment for those patients that you have in your home, or you know about send them a positive message, make them smile. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Well, interesting topic there from Dr. Cheswa Valika from the Zambia Medical Women Association of Zambia, helping us to understand various issues. Miriam, as the doctor was explaining something, I saw you smile to something. Are you able to tell me that?
No, she said, don't spend too much time on your computer, your phone. But you know, this is a sad reality. You know, as media practitioners, we always spend much of our time on computers and phones because we need to get updated. We need to update the nation.
But what are you doing about it?
Of course, I've taken the doctor's advice, and I will try and see how create my time so that I rest and then not spend too much time on the computer and my phone as well.
Exactly. Thank you. There you have it. That was an interesting discussion on COVID and mental health. You can equally, if you have missed this segment, you can equally follow up on our Facebook page to just understand some of the tips that have been provided on how to remain mentally stable in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, because it comes with its own issues pertaining to stress and other issues. Just now,
and you know what, I really did love the fact that the doc alluded to the fact that, you know, mental health being a very serious issue, people are not taking much concern. We have seen on social media lately, you know, young people killing themselves. A lot of people are depressed. With the recent announcement of grade 12 results and grade 9 results, young people have been killing themselves over, you know, bad results and what. So someone will turn up and just kill themselves. So it's very important, like she said, you know, take care of your health, your mental health. You seek counseling where you're not very sure, you know, you need help.
Exactly. No, thank you very much, Doc, for this lesson today. And we're going to take a short break. I will be back on the other side. Stay tuned.
From 31st January to 6 February 2022, Zambia's spiritual atmosphere will take a paradigm shift. The Bible says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord."
Zambia, a nation under God conference
will be starting at 20:45 hours
to 22:30 hours.
Live on Camnet TV channel 274 on DSTV, GoTV channel 98 and Topstar channel 106.
Speakers will be
Bishop Stanley Simnyola, Grace Ministries;
Dr. Nevas Mumba, Victory Ministries;
Apostle Michael Mutemwa from South Africa;
Bishop Nelly Chikwanda, New Life Christian Center;
Apostle Rick Kamwanga, Risen Life Church International;
Bishop Joy Makando, Bread of Life;
Bishop Alex Mwami of Holy Ghost Firehouse from South Africa; and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua.
Camnet Television,
not just another channel. Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you for staying tuned to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. This is a topic that, this is a show that comes to your screen every single day on Mondays to Saturday at 7 hours. And in the studio, in case you're just joining us, I'm not alone. I'm with my co-host, Patrick Soko, where we are discussing our topic of today, your views on the outcome of the KABWATA constituency by-election. I know this is something that a lot of people were talking about. There were a lot of debates. There were, we had 9 political parties, participating in these elections. And I know, Soko, you were on the ground, covering these from day one until this morning when they announced the results. So
we start playing clips before we actually arrived at today. Yes, so we go into those clips so that people can appreciate, and we are going to request that you can start engaging us by calling us as well as sending your SMSs on our Facebook page. You can equally engage us there. We want to be discussion and having a conversation surrounding the KABWATA by-election, which was scooped by the United Party for National Development, UPND's Andrew Tayengwa. So we are going to play the clip that it shows where we're coming from. And
before we play the clip, Soko, we did see a lot of all the 9 political parties, all of them, starting from the ruling party to the other opposition political party. Even the small opposition political parties were very, very, very much confident, like I would say 100% confident that they were going to scoop the seat. Yeah. So
let's see.
Let's play this clip and we'll just see what we're talking about.
Political parties in Zambia contesting the KABWATA by-elections have intensified their campaigns, with all 9 candidates expressing confidence of emerging victorious. Among political parties contesting the seat, which fell vacant following the demise of the United Party for National Development Member of Parliament Levi Mkandawire, is the UPND itself, Democratic Party, People's Alliance for Change PAC, Economic and Equity Party EEP, Patriotic Front PF, Socialist Party, New Heritage Party, United National Independent Party UNIP, and the Patriots for Economic Progress PEP. Meanwhile, Economic and Equity Party leader Chilufya Tayali says he is confident of taking the day because the people of KABWATA want a voice like his to represent them in Parliament.
The KABWATA people have decided, and I know they will vote for me based on the fact that they want a voice. They want a voice in Parliament. This is what the people of KABWATA want. They want somebody with a different mind. Somebody who can offer checks and balances reasonably and objectively. Somebody who can stand up and speak for the people of KABWATA.
The Patriotic Front candidate Clement Tembo, who spoke through the party's acting president Given Lubinda, says he is confident that he will win the elections unless his votes are stolen. Mr. Lubinda is also happy that the campaign have been peaceful so far and is hopeful that the same will continue on the day of the actual by-elections.
Very confident that we're winning this seat. The only thing that can make us lose this seat is if our vote is stolen. That is the only reason why we would lose this seat. So I'd like to appeal to all political parties, please, let's conduct our elections in an orderly manner. Let's not chase away other parties' polling agents. Let's make sure that everyone has a right to vote and the vote is protected by the state police. We must not bring in cadres to come and cause confusion.
Mwamone litwabika pressure nga ba PF babwesha kwa mafuta wan kwacha ngatamuba salile ngatamuba votele bakeshibokwe bati abantu nabafulwa bakabwesha Petro kuchilapa nombanga mwabasala nga mwasala wa UPND bakeshibokutila fyonse voture chitafilife wino.
Meanwhile, New Heritage Party leader Tishala Kateka, who escorted his candidate to campaign in KABWATA, is confident that his candidate will scope the seat. And the UPND president, Hakainde Hichilema, who is also the Republican president, has continued to drum up support for the party's candidate Andrew Tayengwa, who he says will serve the people of KABWATA wholeheartedly if given the chance. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
With exactly 4 days to the KABWATA parliamentary by-election, all political voices have intensified their trials in a bid to garner votes. The by-election scheduled to take place on Thursday, 3rd February 2022, has so far been characterized by peaceful campaigns from all contesting political parties. Sunday, United Party for National Development President Hakainde Hichilema was on the ground in Kamlanga area to drum up support for the parliamentary candidate Andrew Tayengwa. President Hichilema, who is also Republican president, called for unity as a key driver to national development.
Zambia! One nation! Tiri bantu bangati! Mitundu yonse ni Zambia. Mulishani kuno! Muli kwanji kuno! Muli uli! Mwazuwa shangwe! Mwachirimane! Muli naimani! Mwavuga wote! Zambia! One Zambia! One nation! Osabwera kumbuyo kundewo! Osabwera kumbuyo kumapanga! Tieni kusogolo kuli free education! Nikuyamba patayamba chape muzao na zabwin.
President Hichilema says voting for the UPND once again would be a wise choice for the residents of KABWATA in line with their developmental aspirations.
Mukawata, Mukamulanga wadi, Chilenje, Livala, Kamala, Ndala mazinge na zijandala mabakawala na badali kubwa zaka za pita hizi mbele kumu. So kulimbe kubwela kumbuyo ni kuyenda kusogo. Kuyenda kusogo. Ukaenda kumbuyo uzange na mumukozi. Thank you so much. We love you. We are going to work for you. The free education ya mene mwaona ni kuyamba. Muzaona zambiri za muhimu. Thank you. Mulungu atarise.
The head of state, who earlier attended a church service within Kamlanga area, proceeded to Lilai as a resident joyously glanced at the head of state and his motorcade while taking the usual selfies. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Player Henry, Pep, 0. Mubanga Fred, DP, 0. Ziambo Sydney, PAC, 1. Ngandu Trifa, SP, 2. Muzieche Endiwe, Unit 2. Jaengwa Andrew, UPND, 73. Tembo Clement, PF, 100.
There you have it. Those were events that characterized the KABWATA by-elections before the results were announced. Like we said, a lot of candidates, Soko, were very confident of scooping the seat. Unfortunately, you know, at the end of the day, we always have to have one winner.
Yes.
And that we saw the UPND candidate, Andrew Tayengwa, you know, getting victory at the end of the day. Yeah.
So we see, and we get to understand that there are a number of dynamics to these events that we've played. And if you ask me, the president, according to what we have so far been privy to, played a major role in Andrew Tayengwa's victory.
Yeah.
And the PF were also suggesting that if they do not win, it would have been probably the vote has
Their
been
votes
stolen.
have been stolen.
So we just have to reconfirm that probably
Yeah.
they are going to be petitioning or something, because they are suggesting that they can only lose this election on condition that their vote has been stolen. But we can only quantify that before the courts. But we'll see if they are petitioning.
Yeah, if they are
let's see if they are petitioning. But looking at what transpired, well, it will be difficult because people might say the vote was they were
speaking for themselves. Yeah.
But again, what is interesting, Miriam, is the fact that candidates who were also confident, like you were saying, and you heard that clip, were getting 0 in some polling stations.
Wow.
And we were back to that same famous 0 during the August 12 general election. Yes, if you ask me. Mr. Sean Tembo also made a lot of commitments this general by-election.
He did actually.
One of the commitments Mr. Tembo made was that he was going to actually resign provided they do not get over 5,000 votes.
5,000 votes, yeah.
So now, is it true now? Look at the KABWATA by-election, not free and fair. That's Mr. Tembo there. He made an update early in the morning
today. Early in the morning, I saw that update where he was claiming that he was claiming, or rather saying that the KABWATA by-elections were not free and fair, as there were continuous intimidation from the ruling.
And that's the other one there regarding him saying that you will not get less than 5,000 votes. But if we look at the list that we have here, Miriam, Mr. Tembo only managed to get a mere 30 votes in the entire constituency out of 27,677 votes cast.
You know, I wish we could get, we can get through, we'll try and see if we can get through to Mr. Tembo and just find out if he's going to resign. I mean, you know, do what he said. If he doesn't work, if he doesn't get the 5,000 votes, he's going to take that action.
Probably some pronouncement are too ambitious. What do you think, Miriam?
I don't know, Soko. I don't know. Maybe they're politically made or politically motivated. We don't know. But
we saw other people also making such commitments during the August 12 general election, prior to the August 12 general election. When that day came, there were some change of position regarding some statements that were made out there. And today, I think we can now zoom in to the updates.
I do understand that you were on the ground in the morning.
Exactly.
And we had a lot of, you know, things going on. People were so eager, especially, first of all, before we go much into details, who are the main 3 top scholars in this in these by-elections?
Well, the top 3, Miriam Kaimba, are that we have Andrew Taengwa of the UPND, who managed to get 13,574 votes, seconded by Clement Tembo of the Patriotic Front, PF, with 11,192 votes. And if we have Trifangandu of the Socialist Party on 3rd position with 1,849 votes. And Chitufya Tayari, the married man, was was the 4th with 420 votes. But if you ask me, Chitufya Tayari should be the happiest, because these are political parties that have been consistently participating that he has managed to beat, and others are existing political parties. And Chitufya Tayari, if you look at his entourage, he was doing everything almost on his own. And if you look at it, we have the People's Alliance for Change, the Democratic Party, who are being tipped as being among to be the major opposition political party in the country. They were also beaten by Chitufya Tayari. They only managed to secure 124 votes. Wow. UNIP, with their candidate Ngiwe Mzeche, they only managed to get 63 votes.
Wow.
And we had Kennedy Muyowa of the New Heritage Party, who got 46. And the famous Henry Muleya, who got 30 votes.
Wow, that's the Sean Tembo candidate.
We'll go into that update.
The PEP candidate.
Yes.
Wow. Anyway, the residents of KABWATA constituency have decided at the end of the day who they want their area member of parliament to be who they want them to represent them in parliament, you know, and address those concerns that they have regarding their constituency in terms of bringing developmental projects and so on and so forth. Yeah. So right about now, we'll get into an update of what transpired this morning. Yeah.
The people of KABWATA constituency have decided this election was necessitated following the demise of area member of parliament late Levi Mukandawire, who was on the United Party for National Development ticket. Well, 9 political parties were contesting for this seat, and it can only be one person at the end of the day, and that person is Andrew Tayengwa, as we get to hear the returning officer make the official announcement.
Mulea Henry Pep 30. Muyowa Kennedy NHP 46. Muzieche Engiwe Unit 63. Muvanga Fred DP 124. Ziambo Sydney Park 222. Tayali Chirufia EEP 422. Ngandu Trifia SP 1849. Clement Tembo PF 11,192. Taengwa Andrew UPND 13,574. I further declare that a total of 57 ballot papers have been rejected as invalid, and that a total of 27,677 votes were cast. I therefore declare that the said Taengwa Andrew to be this day duly elected Member of Parliament for KABWATA constituency. Dated this day, 4th of February 2022. So congratulations to the winner. Amen.
How do I pass the camera?
Aro, wama mic ngaran pass. Wama mic pass. Wama mic ngaran pass. Wama microphone pass. Pass. Let's go there, guys.
Congratulations, sir. What is the feeling?
First of all, I want to thank my God. I also want to thank the President of the party, His Excellency. I also want to thank my family for the support that they give me. I also want to thank the party, the grassroots, the NLC. I also want to thank the Alliance Party who also campaigned heavily for the UPND candidate in Uganda. I want to say thank you to Dr. Mama. I want to say thank you to Ole Bumutati. I also want to say thank you to the other Alliance partners whom I have not mentioned. Above all, I want also to thank my competitors, especially the one who came so close with me. That shows that both me and Clement Tembo are grassroots politicians, and that's the reason why you have that close.
What the campaigns have been put behind. What are your priority projects heading to KABWATA?
The number one priority that is to be the issue of CDF, the youth empowerment, because that 7 million
The Electoral Commission of Zambia is a body mandated to foresee the electoral affairs in the country. Last month, the Electoral Commission of Zambia unveiled a new logo as part of its rebranding process, and according to the Commission spokesperson at one of the local radio stations, revealed that they paid 1 million kwacha to a local advertising agency to rebrand the institution. But this matter has raised concern among some citizens who feel that the money was too exorbitant for such an undertaking, adding that it was not urgent. Others are not happy with the logo, and social media has been flooded with various versions of the story, including comparisons that the new logo was an imitation. Social scientist Innocent Kolala also shared his views, saying that the electoral body must desist from what he termed as lavish spending.
Surprising that the commission decides to come up with such kind of a logo, which does not speak into its vision, its mission, as unlike the current logo, which is well explanatory. I feel let the commission maintain with the previous logo or the current logo which is using as unlike the one which they have created, because it is not speaking to its mandate.
Mr. Kolala believes that the country's electoral body has important issues to focus on, including decentralization of its operations at district level across the country.
We are appealing to the Electoral Commission of Zambia that they attach the importance of what we have instructed them as people of the Republic of Zambia through our constitution, the Zambian Constitution Amendment Act number 2 of the year 2016, Article 229, which has established this commission and given them a mandatory instruction that they are supposed to have offices in the provinces and subsequently in the district. That 1 million plus, as they have purported, 1 million plus, could have gone a long way to ensure that they implement some of these mandates.
He adds that the ECZ must pay attention towards undertaking continuous voter registration, an issue they failed to undertake in the past, citing lack of resources.
That is provided for under Section 7, which mandatory gives the Electoral Commission of Zambia to ensure that they continuously are ensuring that voter registration to who to be voters is being conducted, as well as what is provided for under Section 80 of the Electoral Process Act number 35 of the year 2016, which mandates the Electoral Commission of Zambia to offer continuous voter education to all the Zambian people. So to this effect, once again, I'm appealing to Mr. Patrick Nshindano, our Chief Electoral Officer of the Electoral Commission of Zambia, to tell the Zambian people how the logo become more important than implementing much of these needed constitutional and legislative matters.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
There you have it. Well, before we played the clip on the ECZ rebranding, we also highlighted some of the issues that were happening this morning regarding the KABWATA by-election, where the UPND has emerged victorious. And in the studios right now, we've been joined by our special guest, Mr. Innocent Kolala, a social scientist, to help us discuss this election and various issues pertaining to the electoral process and the electoral body itself, the ECZ. And Mr. Kolala, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Patrick.
We are happy that you could find time to be with us this morning.
Pleasure.
Interesting. To get started with our conversation, we just played a story on the ECZ rebranding and talking about pertinent issues that you thought needed to be paid attention to by the commission, such as continuous voter registration as well as decentralization. Now, in the just ended by-election, there were also concerns that the ECZ did not do enough awareness creation to ensure that people are aware, considering that there was a change of a date from the 20th of January to the 3rd of February. And that information was not still given adequately to the electorates in KABWATA. And as a result, you equally predicted a voter apathy area on, which you anticipated. And according to this, these results, we only had 27,677 vote casts out of over 100,000 registered voters in KABWATA. So want to get your perspective regarding that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Soko. It's very, very unfortunate that as a country we can experience such a low turnout, and especially here in capital city, in Lusaka, where almost everything is there. but you find that people decide not to go and participate in an election. Very, very, very unfortunate, because as we all know, that an ideal democracy requires full participation. And who are supposed to participate? The citizenry themselves. Ourselves, we are supposed to be part and parcel of the governance system. But what happened in KABWATA is really a sorry sight. And as you have rightly said it, I think the electoral body needs to, needs to pull their socks in terms of implementing what we have instructed them to do, and especially on the issue of voter education. This is a constitutional matter, it is a legislative matter, but why they attach importance to something which is not important to the Zambian people, this is really remains to the Zambian people wondering as to why they can attach, for example, of the rebranding, spend such amount of money during the time when they know that I think they could have even anticipated some of these by-elections. And even in their strategic plan, they always plan for the unforeseen circumstance. And this, what we mean is, in short, the by-election. Voter education is the key. Information dissemination is the key to any democracy, to an ideal democracy. And that's the reason why, as the Zambian people, as espoused in the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia, as well as in the Electoral Process Act number 35 of the year 2016, specifically Section 8, we have emphasized, and moreover, we have instructed them, we have directed them. You know, in law, will and shall have a different, there are big difference there. When in law they say will, there is an element of doubt there. You can, you cannot, and you can make a decision here and there. But a shall, it is an instructive which is given to you. And that's what we have even stipulated under under Section 80 of the Electoral Process Act. We have said the Electoral Commission of Zambia shall conduct voter education. Now, this we are not seeing it. We only see the voter education, I think, which I call a plastic voter education, where during the period of campaign, that's when they train one or two young ones who go around with my apron, and they are talking even with those megaphones, which does not even give credence, I think, in terms of the voter education. Voter education is supposed to be continuous, just like the same is voter registration. Do we see that? Not at all. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, they have their own areas where they want to concentrate away from what we have instructed them. I think this is a big lesson to the Electoral Commission of Zambia body, so that they know that where they are supposed to attach the importance, they are not doing that. I still, once again, appeal to my good brother, Patrick Nshindano, our Chief Electoral Officer, that this is a big lesson for him. If here in Eben, here in Lusaka, where everything is there, we discover that only 27 out of 108. Come on, Zambians. I think we should not even take it lightly. I think this is where even the people who are at the helm of Electoral Commission of Zambia needs to realize. That's the reason why, you know, even the same Electoral Commission of Zambia's institution, instead of letting even this voter education be a department on its own, it is a unit, meaning they haven't attached its importance of what we have instructed them to do. These are some of the issues which the Zambian people, they have always been talking about. It's very, very sad, a very, very sad state of affair, especially to some of us who advocates that every Zambian is supposed to be part and parcel of the leadership, supposed to be part and parcel of governance, because that's what we have espoused in the preamble of the Constitution. Especially, there are 4 points in the 10 points in the preamble where we are saying, we, the people of Zambia, we want ABCD. Then when you come to the number 4 and number 8, where we are saying there is ourselves as Zambians, we have said we need to rule ourselves through participation. How are we going to participate? Article 45 is very clear of the same constitution that we only participate by putting up leadership of our choice. Now, how are we going to put up leadership of our choice? Again, we have espoused very well under Article 47, where we have stipulated on how these are supposed to be in the office.
Now, Mr. Kolala, it brings me to the election that whose results have been announced today. How would you rate the overall? Before we do that, let's take this call. Hello, you are through to Camnet TV. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. You're through to Camnet TV. Hello, good morning. Okay.
We've lost that one. Well, I was about to ask you this question. Everyone was confident of winning, and only one has made victorious. What should be the way forward for even the winners and the losers?
First and foremost, in democracy, there is no loser and there is no winner. In democracy, there is no loser, there is no winner. It's just a matter of time. Because you and I, under Article 56, we are very clear. We have said, yes, we will only be giving these people who feel like taking our responsibility, because what we give them is our responsibility. We are supposed to be ourselves who are supposed to be in council chamber, in parliament, even in state house. But we have said, these powers which we have, for example, under Article 153 and 154, we are saying we are going to give who? The councillors and the mayors and the council chairperson. Under Article 61, we are saying we are going to give it now to who? To the members of parliament who should be standing on our behalf. And under Article 90 and 91, we are saying we are going to give you who? The Republican president who is supposed to be discharging the executive functions on our behalf, and I still emphasize that, on our behalf. But now, when these elections are undertaken, we have said these people are only supposed to be there for 5 years. And after 5 years, again, they need to come to us. They seek for renewal of their mandate. If we feel they did not perform in line with the way we predicted, or the way we agreed with them, the way we signed that social contract with them, then we say, no, please stay away. Let's put other people. Again, if these people, they fail, we do just like that. That's the beauty about democracy. And what is supposed to happen now is politics was, I think, up to yesterday on the 3rd February. Now what we expect is the person who is a winner, who is Mr. Honorable now, is Honorable Taengwa. Honorable Taengwa now, it's the time now to provide to the people of KABWATA in line with what they have agreed with the people of KABWATA. Because the people of KABWATA, to give you confidence to Honorable Taengwa, they have realized that I think there is potential for him to perform in line with what they want. So what is supposed to be done is, all these who participated, who did not put through, they need now to give support to this colleague by, for example, reminding him in most of the issues which he was promising the people of KABWATA, such that when it comes now in 2026, as he will come now to seek for a new mandate with the people of KABWATA, I think he will have no any excuse, because people could have supported him, people could have even reminded him what he was supposed to do. So these are what we are talking about. In democracy, please, people of the Republic of Zambia, there is no winner and there is no loser. What is there is just someone who has just taken a step further, and that step further, which can even be brought back where it was. So it's very, very important that all the players now, let them support the colleague.
But from your own analysis, the way Mr. Honorable Taengwa now carried himself during the campaigns until now that the results were announced, do you think he's equal to the task to represent the people of KABWATA constituency?
To be honest and sincere, I think Honorable Taengwa was not as strong as the other candidate, especially Honorable Clement Tembo. I think Honorable Clement Tembo was more in the constituency as unlike Honorable Taengwa. Honorable Taengwa seemed to be a bit of a new person in KABWATA, despite, I think, from the information that he has been in KABWATA for some time. Maybe it's because of interaction. He did not interact much with the people of KABWATA. And to this effect, that could have been another reason why we saw, I think, the low turnout. You know, under the low turnout, I think there are three issues here which we should realize could have happened in KABWATA. One, as I earlier talked about the Electoral Commission of Zambia, they did not give a lot of information to the public, especially to the people of KABWATA. I expected to be seeing a lot of adverts here at Camnet TV. I was supposed to see a lot of adverts in other televisions and, of course, the radio stations. I expected that they could have sent a lot of people there to educate, to remind the people of KABWATA the issue of the change date and the importance of why people they are supposed to go for an election, because that is their mandate. But such, we did not witness it. And because of that, what do you expect? People, it was life as usual. That is one thing. Secondly, you know, we are just coming from the general election, which was held on the 12th of August 2021. The general election, normally the minds of people in the general election is that, what do we want as the people of the Republic of Zambia? Mostly is we want, for example, to change the government for the betterment of the lives of the Zambian people. For example, the people of the Republic of Zambia, almost all walks of life, they realized that, I think, the previous government, I think it stepped much on their rights, whereby they allowed, of course, those who were not in governance system to take more charge in terms of discharging the function of the government, who are the cadres. Not only that, I think the economy in terms of the prices of goods and all those, I think, started escalating to the fastest rate. And the Zambian people, they realized to say, no, I think where we are taking the country, it was something which they could not imagine. And the only alternative was the UPND government, because UPND in opposition, they were preaching that they were going to fix all those things which were not right. And that's the reason why the people of the Republic of Zambia, they voted the UPND government. And the mindset of the Zambian people, or the mindset of a human being, I think the expectation was immediately when UPND took over power, all the prices were supposed to go down. All the problems which they had were supposed to, I think all their problems, immediately the UPND took over power, were going to be sorted out there and then. Not forgetting that the UPND government came into power with a 5-year mandate. And even their strategic plan, which is a manifesto, is a 5-year strategic plan, which in terms of fixing the economy, fixing the country, they can't fix it in 5 months or 3 months or 1 month, not at all. But they have to fix the country in 5 years mandate. But in the mindset of the Zambian people, even when we were going to vote, the mindset was immediately they took over, then everything was going to be in line with what we are thinking. Now, during the by-election of KABWATA, some individuals who were anticipating that things were supposed to change there and then, but some of the things which they were anticipating to change, they did not change. Then they started thinking, putting a 1+1. Why should we go again and vote? Because we expected that these things were supposed to be in our way, but that's not how the things are. And that is one thing. So those people who were thinking in those lines, they said it's better we don't even go there. And thirdly, there are I think I can say the disorganization or maybe the misunderstanding in political parties, opposition political parties. People who are putting a 1+1. Do we have by now, as at now, do we have an alternative political party? Then we look around. This political party, like the previous political party in power, up to date, they haven't yet put the leadership in terms of the presidency. Because if they went in this by-election with a president of the political party, it could have been a bit different, as unlike the way they went in. Because we saw that all the presidential hopeful who were in KABWATA constituency, I think the concentration was not much on the winning of KABWATA, but on strategizing themselves, placing themselves in such a manner that they can be identified to say, this is the one whom we are supposed to give the presidency or this. Forgetting to say the bigger role which they had was to ensure that they win a vote for Clement Tembo. And because of that, people were able to see, and we are in town, people are elite here, are educated, they are able to see, and they realize that I think in this political party also, there is not much hope in this political party. And because of that, when we saw His Excellency, our Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, when he moved in KABWATA constituency, of course we saw how the KABWATA changed. Previously, of course, before His Excellency entered into KABWATA, I think we could see the element of, I think, the opposition, the previous political party in power, that I think it was commanding the support. Now, the moment now, because he's a president of the political party, at the same time as a Republican president, he entered into there, and look at the interaction, the way he was interacting with the voters, the citizen. He could hug with the people there. You know, such are the few things which people lack, which people they like to see. The way you interact, you could see here is a woman, here is a lady in a wrapper of another political party. They're even taking selfie together with that person without being one. Then people start realizing to say, I think maybe such promises which we were promising to say we are going to rule this country as a one, maybe this is the option. People's mind started changing, and that's how we saw that. I think some few individuals now, they had to shift their attention from where they were now to come and support this other political party or the candidate. Frankly speaking, I think putting the two, if it was candidates, putting the candidates, Clement Tembo go and Taengwa go, Clement Tembo could have taken the role. By this time we are talking, Clement Tembo could have been the member of parliament. But now it was no longer of the candidates. Now it was a political party and the presidency. So you find that the leadership of Clement Tembo was more of in disarray as comparing to the leadership of this side. Here the president was coming. How about here? This kind of president come, you find also those media, this social media information we are receiving, you know, the acting president is bitter with this and so forth, you know, and you know here people they are able to read, people they are able to do what and so forth. So these three matters could have led, one, to voter apathy, two, even to the kind of the voting which took place. As earlier said, the Electoral Commission of Zambia did not do its homework in terms of information dissemination. Secondly, I think some people they felt, I think they haven't received the turnover from the 2021 general election. Why should they go again and participate? And thirdly, of course, they didn't have an alternative political party whom they should give the vote. Henceforth, they resorted to what they started seeing, especially His Excellency in the manner he was coming out.
Interesting. That is Mr. Innocent Kola. They are giving us his analysis pertaining to the KABWATA by-election. You too, our dear viewers, you can call into the station and engage with us and also give us your perspective. A number of issues have been brought out surrounding the by-election, pertaining to the issue of voter apathy and some of the issues that might have led to the victory of the UPND. And Mr. Kolala also made reference to a number of issues that could have contributed in this by-election. So you too, our dear viewers, can equally add a comment on our Facebook page, as well as call in or text us. We can get engaging in this conversation. Now, Mr. Kolala, before we let you go, we just want to also just get your perspective regarding the route we should take as a country regarding the constitution making process, as your concluding remarks.
Thank you so much. Actually, it's a very, very important matter. You know, a constitution.
Before you start on the constitution, someone wants to interact with you.
Hello, good morning. Hello? Hello? Sir, could you kindly tell us your name before you go ahead with your contribution? Could you kindly tell us your name before you go ahead with your contribution?
And where you're calling us from as well? We lost that one. Well, but it was about to make a reference to you, Mr. Kuala. So you were about to start explaining the issue of the Constitution among issues that are also going to help us in terms of electoral reforms and other things that we need to undertake as a country.
Thank you so much, the Zambian out there. You know, a constitution is a very, very important document of any association, be it a church, be it, even in this institution where we are, you have a constitution which makes Camnet TV. And anyone who goes against what is stipulated in the constitution, I think he is of course sanctioned, be it positive or negative. And even in the churches, everywhere the constitution is there. Why? Because it guides who the people are of that institution, including ourselves as a country. We have a document which tries to tell us who we are and how we are supposed to live as a people of the Republic. And to this effect, the Constitution, please, it is not supposed to be changed like a t-shirt, like a jacket. Today, you remove this jacket, you bring another jacket, you put on it. Tomorrow, another political party comes, it removes the shirt, it puts on another one. Another person who feels like, you know, because I want to fix that person, you want to change the Constitution. The Constitution is not about fixing people, but to make people who they are supposed to be. I can cite practical example, maybe in the earliest, not later, in the earliest. In 1996, we had to change the Constitution because we wanted to bar the former first Republican president, Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda.
We take that call.
Thank you so much.
You are through to Camnet TV. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
May we have your name and where you're calling us from?
Yes, my name is Edgar Bishop. I'm calling from Kasama.
It's good to know that Kasama is watching.
You can go ahead with your contribution, sir.
My contribution is concerning KABWATA by-election. According to what my brother said, that is true. You know, the Electoral Commission failed to address the nation, things which must be bought to do. So, this is why the people of KABWATA failed to support the people who should do. Hello?
Yeah, we can get you.
Okay. So this is why people refuse to vote the candidate, especially the PF. So what I'm saying is, you know, this is by-election of KABWATA. Now, so, this is very logical. I expect things to change. Now, now, that's why this is my contribution
Thank you very much for your contribution, sir. Yeah, they was just complimenting you, Mr. Kolala, there, and we won't let you dwell into that issue since you...
True, we have talked about
so
that.
you proceed into your explanation.
Yes, when we are talking about the electoral process is the constitutional process. Yes. Exactly. The constitutional process. It is supposed to be people-driven and not politically driven. I have always talked about this. Where you allow the politician to drive a constitution, then you are taking yourself to maybe 360 degrees backwards. Because the politicians always, what they want is, I think, what suits them, and not what suits the people. And this is where we are appealing. I've always been advocating for this, especially to the current government, in the manner they fought the bulletin, because bulletin was not consultative. Because that's what they were advocating, even at the floor of the House. The reason why they advocated to no to bulletin, because it was only a few individuals who went to sit in Siavonga, and mostly those few individuals were drawn from political parties, which were secretary generals of political parties. Then they came up with that document, which they subjected to few selected individuals who were maybe a bit friendly to the previous, who were a bit, I'm saying a bit friendly to the previous government. And because of that, I think that's the reason why now the main opposition then, which is now in power, they objected to bulletin because it was not people-driven. Now they are on the city. What we are expecting them is to ensure that let the people of KABWATA, let the people of Sinazeze, and we expect people of Chavuma, we expect people of Rubingu Rwansase, that's where I come. Rubingu, we call it Rubingu Rwansase, Uatumparwa Mocho, Aikete kwa Lipirio, Aikata kwa Pia, Noke, Kata kwa Akapia. That is Rubingu Rwansase. Let the people of Rubingu Rwansase also have a part in this constitution, and we expect that with people of Mulobezi also be part and parcel of this constitution. The way which we like only consulting people along the line of rail, as if these are the only people who have the knowledge of this country. We are saying no to this. Because of what we are witnessing, some of lacunas, they call it, of course, in the law lacunas, but it's not lacunas. The lacunas, those misunderstandings, of course, in the law. Those small misunderstandings in the Constitution. For example, by date, we really don't know how Article 101 speaks to Article 106 of the Constitution, because Article 101, it talks about when you are talking about the term, the period when the president is supposed to be in power, and for how long, how is the person supposed to be, we are supposed to know that he was in power or not. Then Article 106 now confuses now there, say no, when someone is in the office for 3 years, that's when you are going to say he was a president, but less than 3 years was not a president. But again, Article 102 is talking about swearing in. When someone is sworn twice in office, then when you are sworn in twice in office, then you cannot again stand as a president. But again, there it is saying, you know, if you did not be in office for 3 years, but you were sworn in as a president. You know, these are some of the confusion which we are saying as this period of constitution process is coming. We need to come and iron out this. Similarly, even when we are talking about the presidential petition, where we are saying only 14 days, 14 days of presidential petition, is it 14 days of hearing the matter, or is it the 14 days of disposing the matter? Is it the 14 days? You know, these are some of the issues which we are really not even, we cannot even understand, but the law is very clear. Even the definition of a constitution is supposed to be as precise, as simpler as possible, even for a common person has to understand and interpret the constitution. Don't bring jargon in the constitution. No, we need all of us to understand and appreciate. Even when we talk about the electoral process, when we read section 97 of the Electoral Process Act, it's very, very sad when it comes to the issue of maybe stating saying that no, this election was not done in a good manner, and maybe the nullification or call it void the way the constitution stipulates. It's very, 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 very sad. What does it say? Under Article 97, they are saying the bribe or maybe the malpractice is supposed to cover a larger part of the constituency for you to nullify that seat. What does that entail? You can bribe people as long as they are in a small pocket of it's okay.
It's okay.
Meaning, what are you doing? You are encouraging corruption. You are encouraging bribe. But unless it is covered in a large group of people, which is going to affect the outcome of an election, that's when you can nullify the city. I think these are some of the issues which we are supposed to be aware of. And when you look of the section which is in the Electoral Process Act, which talks about the code of conduct, also it has stipulated which are supposed to be do's and don'ts. And among those is bribe. So it conflicts itself. On the bribe here, they are saying they haven't even elaborated. They just bribe. They just say this. But another section talks about it has to cater a large group of people. Come on, Zambians. Let's try to give ourselves a constitution which is going to test deliver a test of time, and not a constitution which is only going to suit brother Soko, only which is going to suit myself or my sister here. No, the constitution of the Republic of Zambia is supposed to stand a test of time.
Mr. Korada, we would like to thank you for finding time to be with us in the studios. We could go on and on discussing constitutional matters, the electoral process, governance issues. But unfortunately, it is that time when we have to go to another interview of today, and we are happy that you'd find time to be with us this morning.
I'm always pleased to be at this lovely Christian TV station.
Thank you so much. So right about now, we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll have our next guest on the show.
And the break, we are also going to, just assuming some of the people who are excited in KABWATA, and one of them whom we talked to, just expressing their happiness that they have scooped this seat.
Any further, the Zambian people, they have decided in totality that the political landscape has to change. It has to change in the sense that they have been so much on they have been so much in politics of emotions. Now we are into politics of ideas, and the UPND government is not a government that is now into politics of emotions. They are into a politics of ideas. They want to deliver to the Zambian people, in a sense that the Zambian people, they have always longed for a better life, not a life that they have been exposed to.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel. From 31st January to 6 February 2022, Zambia's spiritual atmosphere will take a paradigm shift. The Bible says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord."
Zambia, a nation under God conference
will be starting at 20:45 hours
to 22:30 hours.
Live on Camnet TV channel 274 on DSTV, GoTV channel 98, and Topstar channel 106.
Speakers will be
Bishop Stanley Simnyola, Grace Ministries;
Dr. Nevas Mumba, Victory Ministries;
Apostle Michael Mutemwa from South Africa;
Bishop Nelly Chikwanda, New Life Christian Center;
Apostle Rick Kamwanga, Risen Life Church International;
Bishop Joy Makando, Bread of Life;
Bishop Alex Mwami of Holy Ghost Firehouse from South Africa; and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua.
Camnet Television,
not just another channel.
Welcome back. You are still watching the Camnet Breakfast Friday edition with me, Patrick Soko, and Miriam Kaimba. We were talking to Innocent Kolala, a social scientist area owner, who helped us unpack some of the events pertaining to the KABWATA by-election. You too can come through to the program by calling and engage with us so that we get the conversation going regarding the voter apathy and various issues that were coming out of the KABWATA by-election. Miriam.
I did love the facts, you know, Mr. Kolala did allude to a lot of facts. You spoke about the lacunas in the constitution, you know, he spoke about the voter apathy, he spoke about ECZ not doing much sensitization or voter education on the people. That's the reason why we had the law out. But in the studio right now to help us continue with this discussion on the outcome of the KABWATA constituency by-election, we have the National Ambassador Chairman and Founder for Movement for Promoting National Values Principles, Chairman Mr. Joseph Konda, who is going to help us get into details as we peruse through that topic. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Miriam. Thank you.
Sure. Just to keep the conversation going, we saw, you know, we saw 9 political parties, both from the ruling opposition political parties, take part in these by-elections, and all of them, like we said, all of them were very confident of scooping the seat. And maybe just your view, your analysis on the whole, on the outcome.
The outcome is not surprising. It's not surprising. Although we've had 9 participants who contested during the by-election, it was a well-known factor that only 2 candidates had a front role or a leading role, so to say. Yeah, even if we still had many other opposition candidates who claimed that they could carry the day, it was a well-known thing that, well, people must be ambitious. I mean, when you're participating in any competition, you don't have to rate yourself as nothing. I remember the late President Mwanawasa's interview at one time when he was asked as to whether he was going to win, to emerge victorious in a particular election. He said in his response, losing is not in my vocabulary. So from the look of things, I think the other candidates also who participated had the same motto. I think losing was not in their vocabulary. But we could tell that even if they don't accept that they are simply participating, they may not make it. We knew that. Yeah. But of course, it's not surprising because we knew that the competition was between Mr. Tembo and Honorable Tayengwa. These 2 were the main contenders. Except probably people could have expected the DP party for Harry Kalava to have come 3rd. Yeah, but instead, the DP was even beaten by the EEP party for Comrade Tayali.
Exactly.
He performed better this time than...
Yes, he was on the 4th.
Exactly, and instead we had a Socialist Party for President and Dr. Fred Membe, who came 3rd. And I should mention actually that Socialist Party is doing very well. Even the other by-elections that we've had, even in Luapula, they had even managed to beat Patriotic Front in that by-election that took place in Luapula, if you remember.
The Ward 1.
Yes, on the councillor level. So Socialist Party is doing fine. They deserve kudos anyway. Yeah, and many people had hoped the Hamududu Party also to do better. Yeah, but this time I think they didn't do very well. Yeah, so generally, but the appreciation should also go to the Patriotic Front. It's not easy to compete with a ruling party. It's not an easy thing. And especially just as attributed or alluded to by Dr. Kolala, our social scientist. It's not very easy because the Patriotic Front are still recovering from the loss. They are not yet themselves, you know. There are still wrangles within the party. They haven't had a presidential a candidate or a leader, a president. There is just someone who is acting. So things are not yet in place for them. And while the UPND might not be very much excited, they shouldn't be very much excited, to be honest with you. Although they've won, yes, but I don't think they should be very much excited. Because had it not been for President Hakainde Hichilema coming in, Comrade Tayengwa was gone. He was nowhere near winning. The reason, there was despondency and dissatisfaction within the UPND ranks. Not all UPND members accepted Honorable Tayengwa, actually. All those issues we used to hear about, the qualifications, the citizenship, you know, the UPND administration, they are not illiterate. They are people who are well informed. Honorable Garin Kombo, Cornelius Mwitu, a legal counsel, Honorable Jack Mwimbu, those are seasoned lawyers, you know. They know the requirements. They wouldn't feature a person they know would not go through. They wouldn't do that. You know, so all those allegations, claims that Tayengwa is not Zambian. By the way, anybody can be a Zambian even if one was born in Zimbabwe. Anyway, you can still be a Zambian. Yeah. Who said if you're born in another country,
as long as you get the citizenship?
What does it mean to be a Zambian? To be a Zambian is to be a person ordained with a green national registration card. Then you are a Zambian. Even a Jamaican can be a Zambian. Yes, as long as...
Especially now that we have dual citizenship as well.
Exactly. So that subject, you know, it was just there. It was politicking, actually. You know, people brought up the subject of Honorable Tayengwa not being a Zambian and all that. No, he hasn't got a grade 12 certificate, you know. It's not our job to verify or authenticate one's academic credentials. It's the responsibility of ECZ, not ours. We don't discuss qualifications of politicians or candidates from the street or from the bar when we are drinking. No, that is the responsibility of the institution, the legitimate institution that is mandated to carry out elections. So all those were simply politicking. So why I've said the UPND might not be very much excited, the reason is simple. If we put it in terms of percentages, Honorable Tayengwa got about 13,192 or so.
13,574.
574, and then
Tembo with
11,192.
Oh, 192, 11,192. And if you look at the difference, it's less than 1,500.
Yeah.
Less than, the difference is less than 1,500. So the people, the number of people who have determined the elections are very few, very, very few. You know, the difference is too small as compared to the total figure of the registered voters,
yes,
which is going up to 108,000. So there was a terrible voter apathy this time. And many people who didn't vote, let's be candid and honest, it's the youth. The youths never voted. Many of them didn't vote. Maybe marketeers could have voted, especially those that benefited from the monies distributed by Clement Tembo when he served under empowerment, presidential empowerment, you know. They were fond of him. They loved him so much. Yeah. But many of our youths absconded and they never participated in the elections. And if you remember very well, President Hakainde Hichilema won because of the youths. It's the youths who voted in numbers, in huge numbers. Now this time, many of them decided not to vote. So if we had to carry out a confidential census, we ask each one of them, why didn't you vote? What reason do you think they can give us?
What are your assumptions, Mr. Kunda?
My assumption is that Our social scientist covered that. He said there is some dissatisfaction among our citizens. Their expectations were too much when President Hakainde Hichilema ascended to the office of presidency. They expected the fruits to have trickled immediately. They expected, they forgot that the mandate is 5 years. I'm just trying to recite, what a social scientist, because what he talked about is the truth, and the truth remains the same. It doesn't change, So the fact is that many people feel disappointed. They feel that maybe the UPND hasn't delivered, so they are disappointed, so they withdrew, and that could have given an advantage to Clement Tembo. He could have actually won the elections had it not been for President Hakainde Hichilema coming in. It could be true that President Hakainde Hichilema received the intelligence report. I wouldn't like to dismiss that claim. It's there on social media. That President Hakainde Hichilema received the intelligence report that your candidate is losing. I think, to me, that report makes sense. He could have been told.
Don't you think those are just false allegations?
No, they may not be, because the president is the first person to receive any information anyway. Me, I didn't know that the president is informed on a daily basis. If anybody is incriminated, sentenced, and convicted, the president is told. Even if he is in USA, he's supposed to be told that Josek is convicted. And if any prisoner dies, the president is informed immediately. So the president is the custodian of information. He receives information first. Now, why could this claim be true? The president panicked. He panicked, and we have to accept he panicked. He never rested. On Saturday, I wondered, did he have lunch?
So his panic paid off.
Exactly. And that's what it means. He read the situation. And he must be a good president. He's a good politician. It's like soccer. Politics are played like soccer. The way soccer is played. A very good coach or a manager of a football team can look at the way players are doing it and can make changes that can make the team win immediately. And sometimes you can make changes within the last few minutes and you win. You never say, no, we've won because we are leading by 3 goals to 0. You can still be beaten in the last 5 minutes. It has happened before. History is there to prove. So
that's the case scenario of the KABWATA by-election.
Exactly. President Hakainde Hichilema calculated. He said, wow, Tayengwa is losing. Let me come in. He even had to buy boots so that he could step in the waters. That was a strategy. It was a strategy. For a president to walk in the mud and in the waters, that was something else.
But don't you think the people of KABWATA constituency just wanted to have Honorable Tayengwa as their MP to represent them in Parliament? Don't you think it was their choice and say, despite everything, we'll still go ahead with Honorable Tayengwa?
You are right. You are right. Except what we are saying is that we are analyzing here, Miriam. Don't squeeze me so much. Let's just be honest. We are saying the people who have determined the victory of Honorable Tayengwa, the margin is actually very, very small. Yes. And given an opportunity that everyone casted the vote, you wouldn't be there.
So should given you in other words, you are interpreting that given that the president would have been able to say, okay, go ahead with the by-election, I'm not going to walk through the streets.
Comrade Clement could have been celebrating. He could have been celebrating. Definitely, UPND was headed for a loss in this election. And it's a wake-up call for UPND, actually. It's a wake-up call. They should find a popular candidate next time. But the elections were not all about which political party. I think people of KABWATA, are up to date with the happenings. They are abreast, I can say so, because they were not necessarily looking at which political party, they were looking at which candidate to represent them. And they could have easily given a vote to Comrade Tembo, but then the president came in. You know, on Saturday he was attending SDA congregation meeting in Kamwala.
Yes.
And immediately left the church. Immediately left. I think he had clothing to change, maybe on the vehicle. That's what I suspected, because I saw him change clothing. I was wondering, where has he changed? And then he went full throttle on a marathon, you know, roadside along Tokyo Road. From there, markets. The following day, he attended a UCZ church, the first thing in the morning. And he did very well.
That's in your constituency. I think no wonder you are informed with on those matters. You are also in KABWATA constituency.
You are trying to be personal.
But I'm happy with the way you are bringing the events. I'm happy with the way you are informing the events. You can proceed, Mr. Kunda.
Exactly. So the following day, you know, he was in UCZ, and I should mention, the president never campaigned in the church. No, he didn't. If there are people who are saying he carried out some campaigns in church, I would speak for him. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. Yes, in UCZ, even I think in the SDA church, he was introduced, the president introduced him, paired with this person. Yeah. But he campaigned with him now when he went out in the markets and in shops, and as he moved around. You know, he didn't have even time to have lunch. He was busy mingling with the people.
How did you know that he didn't have time to have lunch?
I kept my eye constantly on him. And by the way, I'm his ambassador. I'm more than his spokesperson.
Okay.
Exactly. I'm more than Anthony Wali. Yes. I should know everything that the president is doing. I have to know. Because I have to report on him. And I have to tell the whole nation on what I saw. So I saw this. I was following him. And I was just there watching, following proceedings. You know, you could tell if at all there is a disconnection with happenings. You can tell that here there is a disconnection. But I think he was there zealously campaigning for the UPND, and it paid off anyway.
Yeah.
Because finally,
I want to bring
his candidate won. Yeah.
I want to bring you to another interesting angle of this scenario of the KABWATA by-election. These political parties, do you think this tactic or technique of emerging when it is just the time of a by-election to form up structures, branches, and that is going to help them build their, solidify their presence on the ground, as opposed to being proactive like others are doing, making sure that they have people to rely on voting day?
No, it's not helping them. It's as good as being good on Facebook only. We know Facebook has influence nowadays, and someone can become very popular. If we are to rate popularity of individuals or candidates on Facebook, or merely existing somewhere or in exile, I think President Ayali for EEP would have emerged the winner. Because him, I think he gets more comments every day on his page.
Yes.
Seconded by President Sean Tembo.
Yes.
Yeah, because he does a lot of articles. So almost on a daily basis, Sean Tembo is posting.
Yes.
And people, you know, comment and... but I think it's not all about being present on Facebook, and it's not all about how much you are known by people and how much you have. And again, it's not about the qualifications that someone has, because in terms of qualifications, I think President Sean Tembo is more qualified. He has more papers than even President HH. He's very qualified academically, but his party was the lowest. And in many words, he recorded 0. But he's more learned.
You did that comparison of HH's academic credentials as well as those of Mr. Tembo.
Yes, I know. I know how much President HH is qualified. I know. I know the fields in which he excels. Academically, I know he's an accountant by profession. I know he's a full chartered accountant, and then he's a business consultant, and then he's also an expert in business management and administration, and he's an economist at the same time. They were together with Mama Edith Nawaku at the University of Zambia. His credentials are there in public domain, everyone knows. Yeah, but I think in terms of exposure and paperwork, I think President Sean Tembo has, his credentials are more thicker. He has more papers, I think. But you know, these things doesn't count. They don't count. That's
what really counts in this in an election. In an election, what should really matter for you to get the support?
If you need to be on the ground. I'm coming to a point. I haven't departed from the question, actually.
Yes.
I'm still responding to your question. You know, you were talking about how the other political parties can make an impact in our country. Because, you know, even when the UPND have triumphed in these elections, we are still very much interested in other opposition political parties because we need them. That's why people love President Hamududu. Reason, he has a representative in parliament. So we would like Socialist Party to have a representative. We would like DP to have a representative. We would want NDC to have a representative. So the political parties, all of them must work very hard. We are in a democracy. So we are not interested in seeing one political party, you know, taking all the spoils in parliament. We would be very delighted to have a representation of the opposition from different political parties. And this will enhance our democracy, because democratic tenets and good governance are part of our national values, enshrined in Article number 8 and 9 of our Zambian Constitution. So our interest from the perspective of the organization I'm representing, MPNVP, our interest is to see the growth of democracy in our country. Are we growing in terms of manifesting democratic tenets? And I should confess to you, Mr. Soko, that we've recorded tremendous growth in terms of manifesting maturity in our democratic dispensation in our country. Oh, we've demonstrated, we've scored a lot in this by-election, actually, as a country. Because for the first time, we saw coexistence, cohabitation, you know, of political parties. We didn't see a situation that we used to see in the previous administration, whereby if President Edgar Lungu is on the Copper Belt, if the opposition wants to go and campaign there, they will be stopped. They will be stopped. This time, if President Hakainde Hichilema is in Chilenje, and we saw Bowman Usambo going to the same place, near him actually. The president has just passed. The opposition also comes. So we saw coexistence. We saw the blending. You know, we saw the oneness. The competition was about issues. They simply discussed issues, ideologies. I remember one opposition a candidate, as he was going around, he was telling people, so you are happy of the reduction in fuel prices, but how can the government increase fuel by 4 kwacha and reduce by 1 kwacha and you are celebrating? Well, I like that because those are issues. Issue-based. Campaigns must be issue-based, not personal assassination, you know, attacking the character of another person. Talking about you as an individual. Exactly. You know, talking about Miriam as an individual. No. But we discuss issues. I think that's what we saw in the past election. Yes, we had a few incidences of some disorderliness, some violence were reported. Although we must be very careful. Oftentimes the reports that are made, that are published, especially on social media, are not true. They are not authentic. You know, there was a vehicle, a Land Cruiser vehicle, and the story was all over that the PF had rigged the elections, and 6, of course, were arrested. That was confirmed. even by the police spokesperson, Comrade Amonga. But then on the proof that those people were found with pre-marked ballot papers, no, that's not true. We haven't received that. Maybe the police are yet to tell us, but we haven't got that report. So it's just a politicking, you know, stories being blown out of a proportion, yes. Otherwise, those were just mere claims. They were not very true, you know. So, yes, we had some fracases here and there, some confusions, but generally speaking,
okay, just to hold your thoughts, we have a caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, you are through to Camnet TV. Good morning. We've lost that one. You can proceed. We had interrupted you, Mr. Kunda, there. In case you are also just joining us, you can equally add your contribution to our conversation. We are hosting Mr. Joseph Kunda. He's representing the
National Ambassador. He's the National Ambassador Chairman and founder for Movement for Promoting National Values.
Exactly.
In the studio.
And we have been discussing the KABWATA by-election, Miriam Kaimba, and a number of issues and dynamics are coming in. You can too contribute to this conversation we're having. In case we have some of the comments on Facebook, we can have them scroll on the screen regarding what people are saying about this by-election that was held in KABWATA. And remember, the by-election went to the ruling United Party for National Development, UPND's candidate Andrew Taengwa, who became the Member of Parliament for the people of KABWATA constituency. It's going to represent them in the House there by advocating for development in the House. And we are going, if we have those messages on our Facebook page, we can have them scroll. Then we get to find out how others are thinking of this by-election and just their views as we do the post-mortem. And before Mr. Kunda, we also had Mr. Kolala to discuss with us pertinent matters on this by-election. So, and we are in the 9 minutes of our program, and we're just going to give Mr. Kunda to just give us a summary or a brief as we wind down our conversation pertaining to the KABWATA by-election. You can continue where you left, Mr. Kunda.
Yeah, I was saying, Mr. Soko, that this election was a landmark. It was pivotal. It stood out as far as demonstrating democratic tenets is concerned, in the sense that we saw a peaceful campaigns of 9 political parties, you know, coexisting together, competing in terms of ideas, ideologies, and issue-based, you know, that was good. And then, you know, it was very impressive because previously, I remember at one time I was going to a place near Intercity, a bus stop, and somebody was putting on a UPND regalia. And upon being seen by some PF cadres, this person was terribly beaten, terribly beaten. I even wondered if at all that person was going to survive, because he was even hacked, you know, to some extent. Such that it was a well-known fact that around Intercity and in many other public places, you know, that were dominated by the Patriotic Front, no one could be seen putting on a regalia, you know, for the opposition political party. But what we are seeing is totally different. And where it deserves, we need to say thank you. And we need to appreciate, you know. Exactly. We are able to coexist nowadays, you know. Miriam could be a UPND, I can be a PF, you can be NDC. And we are seeing them, you know, exchanging funnies and nice moments. That's why that photo the president took with a certain lady, she was taking a selfie. And then she was in a PF Chitenge. It left an impact on the mind of people. It left an impact, you know. There is an area called, what do they call that place? Bob's Corner. There is a woman who sells some fritters and a few things. Now, that woman is not a PF supporter. She's non-political, but sometimes I've been observing her. She puts on a UPND Chitenge. The following day, she'll put on a PF Chitenge. So I was prompted to ask her, I said, Annie, which political party do you belong to? Then she said, I don't belong to any. I don't belong to any. I said, but who gave you UPND, Chitenge material and PF also? And she says, whoever comes, me I get.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's what we saw. And that's very good. Except I followed your interview with our social scientist, Mr. Kolala. We need to quickly amend our constitution so that we should never experience such costly by-elections. This should be the end. It should be the last one if possible. And I would like to call upon the Justice Minister, Honorable Haimbe, to quicken up the pace so that this matter be presented before Parliament as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that the Constitution is repealed and amended. We shouldn't, Act number 35, Section 80 must be revisited. We shouldn't experience by-elections in case of anybody resigning, joining another political party, or in the event that a candidate dies. I think that must be repealed so that we should never experience such expensive by-elections in our economy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kunda, there for helping us discuss this by-election that we have been covering as Camnet TV.
Well, you know, we would like to go more and more and discuss on this issue. You know, a lot of people would want to, you know, give out their contribution, give out their comment with regards to this topic. But unfortunately, this is where we come to the end of the program due to time. And our topic of discussion this morning was the outcome of the KABWATA by-election. And just in helping me host this show was my co-host Patrick Soko. So for myself, Patrick Soko, and the entire production team, this is where we come, we say our goodbyes until we meet next time.